Hey there everyone, and how are you guys doing today? My name is Joe Marin, and in this video for you all today here on Mobile Cup of Joe, I have got my full unboxing and kind of first and quick look at the Motorola and Google Nexus 6. So along with this package being without a doubt probably one of the biggest boxes I've ever received for a single smartphone, the Nexus 6 is also probably the biggest Android smartphone of all of 2014. So thanks to our friends and pals over at AT&T, we now have a review unit here to check out and review for you guys on the show. So in this video I'm going to be unboxing the phone for the very first time and giving you my initial impressions of the Google Nexus 6. But guys, before we go any further with that, I'm going to have to ask you to please go ahead and grab that coffee cup, fill it up, bring it over, and sit on down. And take a swig from your mobile cup of Joe. Alrighty, so here we go with the unboxing for the Google and Motorola Nexus 6. Right off the bat, you see we have a very white and minimal design language going on with the phone. If you go ahead and focus, and kind of hard to see just with the way the video is, but we do have a 6 kind of etched into the top of the packaging right there. And then if we go around to the back of the phone, we kind of have this sticker that does have a picture of the Nexus 6 right there, a picture of the phone, name of it, and also up here it is saying we have 32 gigabytes of internal storage with the phone. Now you can get the Nexus 6 in both 32 gigs or 64 gig variants on the Google Play Store or directly through Motorola or from any number of the major carriers in the United States, which are pretty much Nexus 6 is available on any carrier in the US, so AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, no matter what it is, you're pretty much good to go in regards to availability for the Nexus 6. Now, one of the things that is kind of differentiating the Nexus 6 from past Nexus products, or Nexi, however you want to call it, instead of the Nexus 5 from last year being $349 as a starting price point, which is much lower than the kind of industry standard for a flagship smartphone, the Nexus 6 does have a starting price point with 32 gigs of storage for $649. So definitely more of the standard price point for a flagship smartphone. It's really not any higher, and it's actually a little bit lower than other smartphones for these kind of specs the phone is packing in, and for the storage capacity you have. So just to be in mind that this is does not carry a crazy low price point like past Nexus products, and it's not really overpriced either. It's just more in line with what the industry standards have been for flagship smartphones. So after my little history about the Nexus 6's price, trying to take the top of this off, and if it wants to shake and bake a little bit, moment of truth, there we go. That is a Nexus 6, and that is a monstrous smartphone right there. So we're going to go ahead and set it down to the side just for a second next to some other phones I'm going to be comparing it to just for size comparisons. We've got our AT&T SIM card, or our SIM card holder, and it looks like it is already in the phone, which is nice to have. Go ahead and see what else is in the package. We have got some Nexus 6 reading material, some literature it looks like, telling us how to access the SIM card and that fun stuff. We've got our SIM tray removal tool right here, just a basic one, no special branding or anything. Standard micro USB to full USB syncing / charging cable. Then we also have a turbo charger for the Nexus 6, if I can get out of there. So this is the turbocharger that you can buy from Motorola. The charger itself, you can buy it as an accessory directly from Motorola, cost about $34.99, I believe, so about 35 bucks. But you can get something like 8 hours or 6 hours of use charging time within just 15 or 30 minutes of charging it. So definitely some high claims with this charger right here. Will be really interesting to see if there's much of a noticeable difference between this and a standard wall AC adapter charger doohickey. So go ahead and place all of our goodies back in the box and close that on it, set that to the side. And before I go too far into the Nexus 6 itself, just going to do some quick comparisons to other phones that are currently available on the market. This is the Nokia Lumia 830, also available on AT&T rather. This has a 5-inch display. The Nexus 6 does have a 6-inch display. You can see right there that the size difference is pretty substantial between these two smartphones. Now let's go ahead and go to something that's a little more widely known and is more of an Android smartphone, and is probably one of the second most popular smartphones of 2014, and that is the OnePlus One. The OnePlus One does feature a 5.5-inch display, and you can see right there that a size comparison to the Nexus 6, the Nexus 6 is quite a bit wider than the OnePlus One. You have a half an inch bigger screen size there. But because of such small bezels that the Nexus 6 has, the actual height is actually very similar to that of the OnePlus One. And to kind of finalize it with the phone that most people are comparing this to, the 2014 Moto X. This is one that I actually customized and purchased with that Cyber Monday code for $140 off through Motorola. So this is actually my daily driver right now. Moto X 2014 edition does have a 5.2-inch display compared to the Nexus 6's 6-inch display. And you can see right there the height difference is quite substantial. And on the back too, you can see where the Nexus 6 does to get its design cues from the Motorola Moto X 2014 edition. You got the dimples on the back, although the dimple on the Nexus 6 is much more reminiscent to that of the dimple on the 2013 Moto X, unlike the 2014 Moto X here. But they both have the same kind of camera flash ring here, where the dual LED flashes are actually nested inside this flash ring here. So you definitely do see those similarities. And also there is a same metal frame around the top and really around all sides of these phones. So if you're kind of going by comparisons of what the phone is most similar to, although specs wise they're very different from a design standpoint, the Nexus 6 is essentially a blown up Moto X. Again, specs and all that, it's a completely different story, but just from the standard design itself, very, very similar. So with all that talking out of the way and all those comparisons done, let's go ahead and take the front plastic off. Go ahead and hold down the power button. And what's actually nice too is that I'm not sure if you can see it or not, but the power button is actually kind of textured just like it is on the Moto X, so you can kind of know right away that it is the power button instead of the volume rocker just by kind of sliding your finger over the side of it. And then we do have our Android Lollipop boot animation for the Nexus 6. It's actually very interesting because the Moto X 2014 edition, and the Pure edition, which is what I have, which is essentially just a GSM unlocked version, actually already has Android Lollipop on here, which makes it even more similar to that of the Nexus 6 in regards to general software. So if you guys want to see a comparison video between both the Moto X 2014 and the Nexus 6, please go ahead and let me know, because if that's something you guys want to see, I would love to make a comparison video between these two smartphones, or the OnePlus One, or any other smartphone you'd like to see the Nexus 6 compared to. Hopefully I can get that name right after some time with the phone. So we do have our Android Lollipop lock screen. Go ahead and swipe up and zoom in just a touch so you can get a better look at Lollipop here on the Nexus 6. This is my first time having the Nexus 6 in hand, and out of the box it's very, very large. It's obvious we have a very big canvas here to mess around with Android Lollipop. Nexus products are always kind of just a showcase for Google's latest and greatest with Android. The design is kind of just meant to get out of the way and let you really enjoy the latest and greatest from Lollipop. So it looks like we actually wants us to set up a Google account. I'll go ahead and do this later. Just go ahead and swipe into our settings so you can kind of see what has been added and changed in Android Lollipop. If you want to get a more in-depth look at Lollipop, go ahead and check out my video where I actually flashed Lollipop on my OnePlus One. I go into a bit more detail about some features and stuff that are included, so a link to the description below for that if you do want to check it out. But here we have the infamous Lollipop Easter egg that is kind of the Flappy Bird clone with a droid. My personal high score is about 2 or 3, so slowly getting there in the world record, but gotta love it just for kind of a fun time waster. But this is as stock of Android Lollipop as you're gonna find. So far the phone seems pretty snappy in regards to specifications on here. In case you are not aware, we are looking at a 6-inch display. Again, that's a Quad HD panel, or 2K, however you do want to say it. We have got the latest and greatest from Qualcomm. We have a Snapdragon 810 processor in here, so really beefy specifications. We have got the Adreno 420, I believe, for the GPU, 3 gigabytes of RAM, so really powerful internals, 13 megapixel rear facing camera, and that great Motorola design that was definitely brought over from the Moto X. So that is going to kind of wrap it up for my unboxing and kind of not really a super quick look at the phone, but just kind of initial impressions for the Nexus 6. If there's a certain software feature you'd like me to cover in the full review, maybe you want to know more about how that camera performs, maybe you want to know how the design holds up, or really just what it's like to carry such a large phone around with you as a daily driver, let me know what those thoughts and opinions are down in the comments below, and I will be able to go ahead and make sure I touch on those in my full review for the phone, which hopefully will be up in about a couple weeks or so. But that's going to about do it here for this video. If you want to stay in touch some more, go ahead and circle me in the channel on Google+, where I am plus Joe Maring, and the channel is plus Mobile Cup of Joe. We would really appreciate it if you go ahead and like this video if you did enjoy it, and make sure you go ahead and click that subscribe button to make sure you never miss a new video here in Mobile Cup of Joe when we do kick them out. So thank you all so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.